What's up everybody, it's Billion Boy. Today I've got a tutorial for you on hotkeys. Once again, I apologize for my audio quality, but I've actually got a mic coming in really soon here. Shout out to Toki the dude hooking me up with the mic. So anyways, let's get into it. So hotkeys are pretty much just shortcuts, key shortcuts that are going to improve your workflow. It cuts down a lot of time that you're going to have to spend manually adjusting everything. So as you can see, I've already got some instruments loaded up in here just for the sake of time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through just like making a simple beat just so you can see when and where to use these hotkeys. So I'm going to start with creating some chords or melody. I've got this plugin here called Track God 2 loaded up already. This is a really awesome plugin for the price. I'm going to make a video on this really soon. I'm just going to load up basic keys here. E keys, this is out of the Metro Thuggin expansion for Track God 2. Awesome expansion pack. Alright, so first what I'm going to do up here is I'm going to raise the BPM because this is just too slow for me. I don't really like it that slow. This isn't really a hotkey, but you can do is just click and move up on this. I'm going to bring it up to 150. Alright, so I'm going to right click on Track God and open up the piano roll. So then I'm going to come up here and click this stamp button here, and I'm going to go down to minor natural Aeolian. I'm going to set this down here. I'm going to mute it. Hey guys, this is all stuff that I talked about in one of my last videos, chord secrets for beginners. Go check that out if you haven't. So I'm just going to build a real basic chord progression here. Okay. Alright, so now that I've got some chords laid out that I kind of like, sounds nice, I'm just going to show you guys some hotkeys that you can do in the piano roll. Now, you can do this in the piano roll with any instrument. It doesn't just have to be your keys or your melody. You can use this on the drums too. So let's just say that when I laid these out, they're all kind of scattered a little bit. They're not all lined up. So what I can do now is instead of going back and manually doing this, dragging everyone over to exactly where I want it to fit, what I can do is highlight everything by holding Control, left clicking, and dragging up to highlight everything. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Alt and Q. Now what this does is it opens a quantizer, right? So it's going to line all these notes up on the red line that it is nearest to. So it's a good way to make sure everything is just lined up and it's even before you start adding other stuff. As you can see, this one, it was a little bit closer over here, so it's going to be off, and I don't want that, so I'm just going to go in and manually adjust that. Sometimes you still got to do that. Now what you can see is that the ends of these notes are overlapping. Instead of manually going in and doing this with every one of them, what I can do is once again highlight everything, Control, left click, drag up to select everything, and then I can hold Control and I can hit L. As you can see right there, it pulled this note back. It just drops it, chops it off where the next note begins. And so over here I've got some more stuff going on, but as you can see, my chord progression here doesn't fit the full 4 bars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Control, I'm going to select everything, make sure everything's selected, and I'm going to hit Control B. As you can see, that just copied everything over. It just duplicated over into these next bars. And once again, since this was overlapping here, things are not lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Alt and Q to quantize everything right there. Okay, so that looks good. And now I've still got these overlapping notes, so I'm going to go ahead and do the Control L hotkey. And now nothing is overlapping on it. On the end of this, I'm just going to have to manually do this so it doesn't extend that over the bar. Okay. Alright, so now if you're having trouble creating melodies, another hotkey that'll really help you guys out is you can select everything and then you're going to hit Alt A. This opens up the arpeggiator, and as you can see, it chops all your notes up and it makes a melody. Now this is probably going to be super fast. Yeah, so I don't like that. I can go over here to this time knob, and I'm going to increase it to shorten these notes up. Now let's hear this. Alright, so it makes a different little melody. I don't really like it that much, but it can help you out if you're in a bind and you can't come up with a melody to give you some ideas. Okay, so let's say I made this melody and I don't want to keep it. So what I can do is I can hit Control and Z to undo what I just did, right? Now if I want to undo something before the last thing I did, I can hold Control, Alt, and then Z, and I can keep pressing that. It'll undo all the stuff that I had done earlier. So if you've got a chain of mistakes that you need to go back and fix, you can just keep holding Control, Alt, and hitting that Z. I mean, see, it takes it all the way back. So we've got our chord progression here. I'm just going to stick with this. Another shortcut we can add to this that's gonna help humanize our melody. It's not going to make it sound like so robotic and computerized. So what we can do is when we have everything highlighted, we can hold Alt and S. This opens up the strumizer. So what this does is like what it says, it just strums it. So like you're strumming a guitar. I can hold this, I can push this time knob up, and as you can see, it's moving these back. Alright, so that's a little bit too much for me. I'm going to drop it back a little bit here. So that's still a little bit too much for me. I'm going to hit Control Z, Control Alt Z. I'm going to undo that, pull up the strumizer again, and just add just a little bit. Alright, so I like that. Now to even further humanize this, what we can do is another hotkey. It's Alt and R. Okay? So this is our randomizer. And what we can do with this is this velocity knob right here. We can adjust this. This changes our note velocity. So basically how hard the notes are being hit when they're being played. See, the velocity over on this last note is raised up way higher than the other ones. I don't really like that. So I'm going to drop this back down, make it even, and I'm going to uncheck this bipolar box right here. And now I'm going to adjust this velocity now and see what it does. See, it's raising all the velocities on it, but it's also spreading them apart, so it's going to sound more humanized. I'm going to just drop it down a little bit, just a touch. Alright, so that's enough for the chords. We got a real basic chord progression. We can add a beat to it. We'll go over here. I'm just going to start with the hi-hats and some claps. So, easy way to make hi-hats is right click on this and click fill each 2 steps. Now let's listen to this. So first off, it's already too loud. I just want to drop that down a little bit. And as you can see, our hi-hats sound really just robotic and just computerized. I don't like that. So I'm going to go in and do the same thing like I did with these chords, and I'm going to humanize our hi-hats. So right click, click on piano roll. Now hold Control, left click, and drag to select everything. And then I'm going to use the randomizer, right? So Alt and R. And look what it did to these hi-hats now. So let's hear it a little bit. Okay, so before, after. Hopefully you can hear that difference in that. It definitely sounds different. Maybe you might have not developed your ear for that yet, but it definitely makes a difference. Now I'm going to add in the claps. Alright, I'm going to make a super simple kick pattern. Alright, it's time to add in 808. So I put this in the key of C. Make sure your 808s are in key when you add them in. So the way I can do this, I can open it up, click on my 808. We've got this wave right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is right click on this, edit in audio editor. As you can see, this has a hotkey too, right? So I could just open this up, and our hotkey is Control E. So you'll see that a lot when you're looking through stuff. I'm just open this up and hit Control E. Opens it up my audio editor right here, Edison. Okay. Now, how you can figure out what key your 808 is in already, you can hit this little flag marker right here, go down to Detect Pitch Regions. It pulls up, it's already in C, right? Now, if it wasn't in C, what I could do is whatever it say, like let's just say it said G, okay, if it was in the key of G, I could go over here on this little wrench, right down here. See, this tells me that it's in the key of C right now, okay? I have this set to C. What I can do is I can move up to G and right click on it, and now that's going to set it to the key of G, and then I can go and move it in and place it where I need to place it, right? But since it's already in C, I'm going to keep it there on C. I don't need to adjust anything with that. I'm going to go up to it, I'm going to right click and go to piano roll. Usually with 808s, you want to line them up to your kicks. You know, of course, there's exceptions to everything in this, but I'm going to line it up to my kick. And this is going to sound funky right here because it's not lined up. I mean, it's close enough so it doesn't like really sound that weird, but I can tell. Anyways, I'm just going to keep adding some 808s in, line it up with the kicks. So what I'm doing right here, if I want to just copy this one note over, I can select it, I'm going to hold shift, and then I'm going to left click on it and just drag it over to wherever I want it. I'm going to say right here. And once again, it's not really lined up, but I'm going to use some hotkeys that we learned earlier in this video to fix that a little bit later on. And you see, as I'm switching notes here, this right, I went up to my 5th here. This is my 5th note. And so I'm going to set the 808 on that as well. So, alright, so then it goes back down to the C. And right here, this is where the hotkeys really come in, because they're just improving your workflow so much, man. You can just select this, hold control, select it, and then hit B twice on it. And bam, I've already got this almost lined up to my kick. And it's going to sound funky. Alright, so I'm going to add in these last two here. Alright, so now I'm going to go in and quantize this because I don't really like, you know, it's not lined up, it's not set. So there we go, everything is good. Now I'm going to hit Control L, the hotkey I taught you earlier. Alright. Alright, so I've got this little beat, I've got this open hat, I still haven't used, I might just throw it in some different places. Alright, so it's just a simple little add-in, you know, adds a little something to it. Alright, so there we've got our instruments filled in, we've got a little beat going. It's really simple. We could definitely add more stuff, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. So let's learn a few more shortcuts here. So now let's say I'm wanting to send a single track here. I'm wanting to send a single instrument into the mixer here. Like I want to send this piano in, right? So I'm going to open up this plugin. I'm going to click on it, right? And then I'm going to hit Control L. What that does is it sends it to a free mixer track, so now I can see it when it plays. So it's got my track out in here. It just sent it into a free mixer track. Okay, so that's a really important one, you know. But I usually don't use that much because I like to wait until the end till all my instruments are set, and then I use this right here. So So what you do is you go here, I'm going to click on it, hold down, and drag, and you're going to highlight all of these. Make sure they're all highlighted, all of your instruments, okay? Now I'm going to go into the mixer, open it up. I'm just going to click on this first one here, right click on it, and click, go down to channel routing, click route selected channel starting from this track. As you can see over to the right here, we've got a hotkey right here. This is a hotkey. I usually don't use that because I can't ever remember it. You know, I probably should work on that, but whatever, you know. I'm just going to click it. Everything gets routed right in here. Now see, here it says I've got 2 track guides. Well, this is just the leftover from what I had earlier, you know. That's why I wait for everything, because now I've got 2 of these, but really this is my hi-hat and this is my track guide. This is my piano. But normally it would not look like this. You see, it would just be that open hat sitting right here. It'd be blue like this. So now that I've got everything routed into the mixer that I want routed in there, it's time to start kind of formatting it, like, you know, make it to the layout of the song. So if I go in here and I want to lay out the song, well, all I've got is this pattern 1, and I've got all the drums. You know, I can't flip it up. I can't just put the piano here and then move into the drums with the piano, right? So what I've got to do here is I got to go right click up here, and I'm going to click split by channel. Now see, everything's opened up here. We've got all the different instruments singled out. If we go back in to the channel rack, I can see they're all on separate patterns. So now I can start making the format for my song. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring everything in at the same time. So what I can do is hold Control and then select all of these together. Alright, and then I'm going to just drag over. I've got everything, and now what we're going to do is keep using that Control B hotkey. Copy everything over until we've got, you know, it's at 1:30 right here. So that's alright. You can go longer, of course, depending on the song you want. I usually make mine about 2 minutes long. So now I can start taking stuff out where I don't need it. So all I want right here is just the piano. I'm just going to delete these. So just right click and drag. Okay. Now see, I don't really want everything to just come in at once, so I'm going to just bring in the hi-hats and take everything out. Just the hi-hats. Maybe I'll throw in a clap too. Okay. And I still don't want everything coming in that early. But anyways, guys, that's just basic formatting stuff. We can get into that in another video. This is just for hotkeys and whatnot. So anyways, I really hope you guys learned something from this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe. And I got a lot more content coming soon. I'm getting a mic. The quality of everything is really going to pick up here pretty soon. And I'm going to be able to teach you guys a lot more. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.